I'm Elaine Clayton, and I'm a psychic medium. And I just wanted to share with you, in early April, first week of April, I devoted a whole day to meditating on this COVID-19 pandemic. I really just wanted to, understand how it would play out. And so I meditated the entire day. I'm sure everyone's curious, wondering how is this going to play out? How long will this last? What's going to happen? And so I just wanted to share the outcome of that day of meditating. I did put it on my blog in early April, so you can go to elaineclayton.com and read it also. But what came to me, basically there were three scenarios. And the first scenario is that this would take about 3 years for this to resolve. It will never go back to the way it was, but if we're lucky, it will go back to something similar to the way it was, like where we'll say, where are you going this summer? And, what's your new job? Normal conversation of movement and life as we kind of knew it. But it's not going to look exactly the same, and that's not a bad thing. There were a lot of things that were dysfunctional about the way we were living, so it's not really a bad thing. But what I was getting, though, was that there are two ways to look at that 3-year period that we'll probably go through here. And that is, we can make it harder for ourselves, or we can go through it and make it a little bit less painful. And what I got was that, this whole thing is really triggering everyone's primal fears. It's a primal root chakra survival instinct trigger. It's people are losing their jobs, their sense of their identity. Think about it. If you were a college freshman and then suddenly you couldn't go to college anymore, and you're online doing online college, you don't even want to do that. Or if you owned a restaurant and then it just got blown to smithereens, basically, or you had another job, or you're a parent and you have a family and then you can't take care of them. Those are extremely stressful things. Or if you've done one thing your whole life and then you can't do it anymore, those things trigger everything primal. Every primal instinct of survival is threatened. So there's a lot of fear going on, and it's natural for people to lash out and to act out in ways that can be destructive. So So I got in meditation how important it is for us to be patient and kind with ourselves and with each other, and to really care about each other even more so now, because this is a very difficult time for so many people. And you can see that there are all these acts of kindness and charity going on. So we can do this, we can go through this in a way that will have a good impact on the world, on ourselves personally, and on our family members, and on our friends and people in our community. We can support each other in ways that we didn't before, and we can be creative and come up with ways to care for each other. And I think we do see that happening. But so that was the first scenario. And then the second scenario, it may actually happen while the first one is playing out, but I'm not sure. It was that, let's say if the economy kind of fumbles along, if it doesn't really recover during this 3-year period, you'll just sort of see people gradually go back to basics. If people have to do things differently, because this is kind of a new paradigm. If you're not doing the job you always did, you're having to be flexible and adapt to something new. If you aren't going to college the way you thought you were, and you're having to do something you never dreamed you would do, if you had to move because you lost your mortgage or whatever it is, if you don't have the job you had, so you were living in a town because of the job, you don't have to do that anymore. You change location because of that. People are going to gravitate to other places, toward other people that reflect a sense of going back to basics. That's what I saw. A quiet movement of people kind of finding their tribe. This isn't a real obvious thing. It's a quiet movement of people just sort of making decisions that are a little bit different from the way we used to make decisions. We usually made decisions based on, oh, if I go do that, I can make more money, or if I go do that, it's, I got a job because I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to go study there because I'll get a better job if I do that. We just made decisions based on the structure that was functioning, and if the structure isn't functioning, we start making decisions differently. So I think that people are going to gravitate to places and to people that reflect a new way of thinking. And then there was a third scenario that is a little troubling. I hate to even say it. It sounds kind of scary, and I don't want to be scary. But, while we're so focused on the pandemic, and we should be because it's dire and people are dying and we need to eradicate this virus. But there are a lot of other things that could happen while we're focused on this. There could be an act of war. There could be some sort of terroristic thing. The power grid could just shut down. There could be there could be a natural disaster. There could be, an earthquake. There could be extreme weather. We have that often. There could be all kinds of things that happen that just cause one more element that causes us to have to deal with something great, and we have to change overnight in a more drastic way. I hope not, though. I'd like to not even think about that, but that was a third possibility. And then there's another possibility, which would be a miraculous thing where some kind of cure, some kind of, maybe even the virus just dies out. I don't know. Something great could happen. Something amazingly good could happen where we don't have to deal with this virus anymore, too. And I wish that would be the case. I also would love it if I was wrong and this whole thing didn't take 3 years to resolve itself. If I'm wrong, I'll be so happy. Like if the economy recovered, within a year and the virus was gone, I would be so happy. So that's pretty much it. If you have any insights, or if I have new insights as the days and weeks go on, I'll share them. But for now, I think let's try to be kind and patient with each other and with ourselves as we learn to adapt and be flexible and adjust to a new way. Everything doesn't have to be too scary and too bad when a new paradigm shift is happening. I think it's a spiritual event. I think this is an opportunity for us to do things in a more healthy way. Let's take what's dysfunctional and make life a little bit better. It wasn't all that great. It's an opportunity to create healthier ways of living, too. It doesn't have to all be bad. And we can find ways to alleviate each other's suffering through this. So, for more information, for art, books, and intuitive readings, ElaineClayton.com. Thank you.